Yeah, what's up? This should be AJ. Welcome to Power Play Wednesday. Today, I'm going to look at how President William Ruto has lost his political influence and grip on the Kenyan Church. Welcome to the show. So, if your memory serves you well, do you remember the number of times the clergy was invited at State House for, let's say, dinner or Thanksgiving prayers? How many times did different churches invite President William Ruto over for their services? Many, right? How many times did the church dedicate prayers before the elections to have President William Ruto elected as the current Kenyan president? Many times. How many clergy celebrated the winning and victory of President William Ruto? Many, right? How many clergy and the church members declared openly and stated that Ruto was God's chosen leader? Many, right? So at what point did Ruto lost this grip on the church? What triggered this current state of affair we are currently witnessing? And if you think things are not as bad as I might think, or as I am putting it, let's have a look at this.
People think you become rich by corruption. Corrupt people are cursed. And all these people...
Now, this happened in a church, I think it's JCC in Mombasa, right? So I'm just like the preacher, the line of someone that the preacher, served the congregation. I personally felt it was like more of like attack kind of approach. Because tell me why the preacher would talk about corruption when the guy who has been alleged to be the most corrupt president globally is seated right there. Why would he pick such a topic? And to make it worse, there were so many signs that Ruto probably should have, seen before even like getting the service. Because I hear, as from my sources, it says like I'm hearing that this guy, like there are claims that he missed the first service, the morning service, and then it just happened that this was the evening sermon. And I'm like, bro, was it God's plan? Was it just within God's plan to have him listen to that kind of sermon? Because just look at the face. Just look at him, like how frustrated, he's giving that smile, that agitated smile he usually gives whenever he's feeling attacked. And kudos to the camera and the guy on the switchboard, because the guy was like, yeah, mimi siezi ambiwa hivo, like, hey, camera 2, pan to your left, camera 1. And then camera 1 zooms to the president's reaction when the preacher was saying about like corruption and how thieves will die. Man, that must have been one of the craziest and hardest thing to experience as the president. Why am I saying this? I've ever had an experience where like I went to this new church. I was just trying this church, and I went there as a new member with my long dreadlocks. So I'm right there, just the second row before the preacher, and the sermon was about like just moderated, and then it reached a point where the preacher was saying like, hey, we bought new equipment. So for those of you who stole the other equipment, so we bought new ones. So if you're planning to steal these ones, just plan, but the wrath of God will be upon you like nothing else. So the preacher's sermon, I'm just like, hey, I'm with the dreadlocks, and I'm like, hey, I'm just feeling so guilty, like, hey, I'm not a thief, but the Kenyan stereotype thing. So I'm thinking like, hey, maybe he's thinking the sermon, maybe he's basically attacking me, thinking that I'm the thief or something of the sort. I really felt bad, like bad. And then he's saying like, hey, if you've come to check if we bought new equipment, yes, we bought new ones. So if you're planning to come and steal them again, just come and steal them, but know the wrath of God will be upon you. And I'm like, I'm not a thief, but I got the kind of attacked vibe from the preacher. And this is the exact situation I believe President William Ruto was kind of experiencing. Maybe he's not as corrupt as we might think or as you might think, but hey, he just felt really attacked by that sermon. And it's like he's been experiencing attacks from every corner, with even like Bishop Muhiria from the Catholic clergy also like attacked him.
We have to stop advertising and act. Government seems to be constrained to advertisement of government projects, advertisements of plans. Government is not advertising agency.
So it's been like every corner Ruto anapokea ma stray. I wouldn't call them stray bullets. Maybe they were intentionally structured to pass a message to him. If he's a good Christian, he'll probably listen to whatever they were saying. If not, sikia kufa alisikii dawa. Let's just leave it at that. Hey, and to make it weird, he's now trying to, it's like calling Baba to his rescue. Will the Muganga guy really help him? This is a guy whom he said was a witchcraft lover. This guy is a guy who he said was antichrist, kinda. And now he's relying on him to survive politically. How ironical. Like he lost grip on the church and then went to the Muganga guy. He's like, hey, kama Mungu hizi nisaidia acha niende Muganga. Typical African way of dealing with things. Ama Mungu ana delay. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you for today's Power Play Wednesday. I hope to see you next Wednesday for same episode. I don't know. I'm just hope you guys have enjoyed the show. Until next time. Bye. Bye. Bye.